Next on the Food Nanny, I take a trip down the country road to learn the cowboy way of cooking. The Rockin' R Ranch is a real-life working dude ranch that will transport you back into the Old West. Today, we will take our dinner to the outdoors with Dutch oven cooking. All of your favorite dishes made right over the campfire. Join me as I search for La Vita Vera right here at the Home on the Range. I'm Liz Edmonds. I'm the Food Nanny. As I raised 7 children, I learned that dinner time is the most important part of the day. It's the most natural setting to share the best of everyday life together. And when it works, it's La Vita Vera, the true life. But I know it's not easy. That's why I've made it my mission to help you rescue dinner time. And I'll travel the world to help families like yours find La Vita Vera and have the best of everyday life together.
Hi, how are you?
Brandon, how
see
are
you.
you?
Thanks for coming out to the Rockin' R.
The Rockin' R, wow, this is amazing.
Introduce you to Crystal.
Hi.
Crystal, this
Hi.
is Liz, the Food Nanny.
How are
Nice to
you?
meet you. I'm good, thanks.
Very nice to meet you. So you're gonna teach me some new things about
Yeah.
Dutch oven cooking.
I hope so.
The science of it,
The
right?
science is not too complicated. It's pretty easy. I love Dutch oven cooking because for me, it's good memories. Growing up, it was my family, my dad. You know, that's when he cooked, was outside. And then 4-H camp, we went every year and it rained and it was terrible, but we always had good food.
When the Food Nanny returns, Brandon introduces me to the cowboy way of life at the Rockin' R Ranch. Oh,
Hey, pull it.
oh, I got one!
You got one horn, yeah?
Welcome back to the Food Nanny. Today we're at the Rockin' R Ranch in Anemone, Utah. This is a real-life working dude ranch where we're learning to ride horses, rope paddle, and best of all, cooking with Dutch ovens.
We have to get some coals ready because we're going to cook on the open fire today. And we're also going to be using charcoal. 2 different types of Dutch oven cooking so people can get a better idea of
I love that.
how to do it. And I like to bake more on the charcoals because you can regulate your temperature a little better and you can get a good even baking. And then the open fire is fun for things that aren't as specific and it's just a lot of fun to do. Do you want to start with some biscuits?
I would love to.
All right, let's go.
I love biscuits.
Okay, this is more like a roll.
So is it a bread dough?
It is bread dough.
Okay.
It's very easy bread dough. It's not a scary bread dough. Don't worry about yeast is scary sometimes.
I know. So many people
And I
are
get
afraid
scared.
of yeast.
Yeah, so don't be, because this one's super easy.
Okay.
All right, dump in your flour.
Okay.
Then we're gonna do the quick oats.
How many?
I think it's a ½ cup. Then this is the fun part. This bread is so easy. You dump the yeast in.
Wow, I
with
love
this.
that.
You mix that up good, and then also there's a little bit of salt. That's all your dry ingredients. Then we're gonna add the wet. It is 1 1/4 cups of water. Put all the wet together in here, okay, and then heat it up and melt our butter. So then it will all mix super good.
Okay.
This is a ½ cup of butter. We're gonna put in our water right here.
Okay.
And then this is also 1/4 cup of honey.
Oh.
It's kind of it's a little bit of a sweeter roll.
I love
And
honey.
it's super good.
I love your recipe already.
Love my mom.
Okay.
And then we're just gonna heat it up till the butter's melted. Not so your water's so hot it's gonna kill your yeast, but so
Right.
it's warm so it will activate it
And melt the butter.
and melt the butter.
Once the butter is melted, beat 2 eggs and add both to the mix. Then stir. Let the dough rise until it's double in size. While we wait, Crystal and I will prepare the Dutch oven.
This is a 14-inch Dutch oven.
Okay.
I'm using it just because we need to bake a lot of biscuits and it's bigger. So
Okay.
bigger pan, bigger biscuit.
So to get started on the biscuits, we're gonna do what?
We're just gonna do a light coating of cooking spray. And
That's a light coating.
Yeah, that's a light coating. Nothing too big because it's already seasoned. And then we are gonna roll our biscuits and let them raise again in the oven. So if you just wanna grease your hand up.
Put a little bit of grease.
Yep, we're outside,
bit of
so
shortening.
nothing fancy.
Okay.
And then you're gonna get about a golf ball size piece of dough.
Okay.
So if you wanna roll it, and this is how my grandma does it, so that's how I do it, and then you kind of fold it in like that, and pinch the bottom, and then turn it over and pat it, because that's what grandma does, and you have this cute little roll. Okay, we're gonna put them in the oven. We're gonna line them up around the edge and fill it up.
How
And,
close?
just a little bit of space. They're gonna
Okay.
raise, and then they're gonna go together. So we'll just fill up the oven. Okay, we're gonna put this biscuit here in the middle, and then we're gonna put the lid on and we're gonna let these raise for a little while.
While the rolls rise a little more in the Dutch oven, Brandon is going to teach me one of his favorite ranch life activities, roping cattle.
The key is you want to rotate it around your head and keep your loop open. So you want to keep your elbow about right here, and you want to loop that around. You got to turn your wrist. There, that's it. You got it. You got it.
Really?
Yep. So then you step up to the cow right here.
Okay.
Let me show you. You'll step up and you'll rotate it, and you'll rotate. Then when you got some speed going here, you'll just let it go.
Oh, you did it.
And you just kind of throw at it, kind of like you throw a baseball, but not quite as hard. Rotate it
Okay.
around. There you go.
Okay.
Now chuck
And
it
then
at
I'm
it.
just going to let it go.
Throw it right at it.
Come on. Oh!
Hey, pull it, pull it.
Oh, I got one.
You got one horn, yeah. One
Yay!
horn, yeah, good job.
But I can't imagine doing it on a horse.
Yeah, that's why when you practice, you come up and stand about right here, and actually you do want to stand with your feet apart and kind
Okay.
of hold your hand out here because your reins would be in your hand.
Okay.
Okay, and your horse is running, and really when you're riding the horse, your horse's head would be about right there, and so right in front of you. So you'd be riding up on the calf, and you swing it right over their head,
Whoa.
and then that's when you.
Do you ever enter the rodeos and do this?
Oh no, heck no, I'm not that good.
No.
No, when I get on the horse, I'm not quite as good as I am on the ground.
So that is the real talent.
Yeah, it is. It takes a lot of practice.
Practice.
Yes, tons of practice. You have to be a really good rider. You got that rope and
Really?
yeah, you got that loop down.
Okay.
Hey, hold tight. You did it.
Oh my gosh!
Excellent.
Wow!
You're a professional.
Yay!
You got her.
That is
Good
fun.
job. Good
Wow,
job.
you're a good teacher. It's gonna be a great day today. I can cook anything today. Learning to rope was incredible, but I can't wait to get back to Dutch oven cooking with Crystal. So what do we have here?
This here is a shoulder butt.
A pork shoulder butt?
Pork shoulder butt.
Okay,
That's what we have here.
this cut of meat is better for shredding.
This cut of meat will shred really well. So we're gonna cut it into some smaller pieces. We're just gonna cut it in some fours.
So does the recipe call for 5 pounds?
Well, depends on how much barbecue sauce you have and how many people you're gonna cook for.
Since this cut of meat is perfect for shredding, we're only going to slice it into 4 large pieces.
We're gonna slow cook it for, 10 hours,
Okay.
8 hours, as much time as you can devote to it. We're gonna slow cook it at a low temperature, like 200, 250. The time that goes into it and the time you have to wait, the patience that it takes sometimes, you get time to sit and think, and you get time to sit and visit while you're doing the Dutch oven cooking. And, you gotta slow down a little bit. And it's gonna be good in the end. Just a little bit of salt and pepper.
So this is coarse salt.
This is coarse salt, so what we have. Some pepper. And this is the best part, we're gonna do our barbecue sauce. Robert here at the Rockin' R made this for us.
Robert's barbecue sauce is perfect for Dutch oven cooking. With ingredients like chopped onions, minced garlic, and pineapple juice, you know it's going to be delicious.
And then you just dump her on. And
That's quite a bit of sauce.
but make sure your meat's covered and it's in there.
Okay,
and
and that's
then-
a thin sauce.
Yeah, this one's a little thinner.
I love that.
Just depends on what you like, what your preference is. I'm gonna put this on the fire. Okay, we got to do a little fire action here for just a second. You want
Okay.
some good coals.
Just a nice little
A nice little bed of coals.
that will fit under your oven.
Uh-huh.
Just that amount.
Yep. And then you just set her down in there.
Wow.
And then we're gonna put some coals on the top too.
So that's gonna cook all the meat and everything, but it's gonna take 10 to 12 hours.
It's gonna take a little while. I would give it at least 6.
That's the short.
Yeah, that's the short.
That's
if you
the
can
short
give it
end.
10, give it 10.
Dutch oven cooking has officially begun. As the pork starts its long cooking journey, Brandon introduces me to his wife, Brandy, who leads the ranch in its daily horseback riding excursions.
Do you have horseback riding experience?
Not a lot. I mean, I grew up with horses at my grandparents' house, but every time I seemed to get on one, it ran away.
Oh no, we'll put you on one that's not gonna run away. I love ranch life, and I grew up on a ranch. My dad actually did it as a hobby, and so I feel like it's kind of a dying breed, the cowboy life, and so I feel really privileged to be able to work here at the Rock and R and to be able to live that life. The philosophy of the ranch is to bring families together, and we actually have families that come from all over the world, and it's a time that they can come and spend together, and they also are able to sit down 3 times a day and eat together, and so food's a huge part of that.
It's about getting away from the busyness of life and coming and enjoying an atmosphere that is a dying atmosphere, and bringing your family together. There's not cell phone service down here. You know, we don't have TVs in the room, and we'll always try to keep it that way because we want people to enjoy nature and life.
When the food nanny returns, we get started with my favorite part of the meal, dessert.
We're gonna do apple pie today.
I love apple pie.
I do too.
Oh.
I love all pie.
I do too. Welcome back to the Food Nanny. Today we're at the Rock and R Ranch in Anemone, Utah, and we are soaking up the best of what ranch life has to offer, from hay rides to buck and barrels and all the serenity in between.
We are going to make an apple pie in a Dutch oven without a pie tin.
Without a pie tin.
We're gonna use the oven for the tin. So we're gonna start with our pie filling. We're gonna go from scratch. We're gonna do apple pie today. It's very, very easy to do.
I love apple pie.
I do too. Love it. I love all pie.
I do too.
Okay. So right here we have 6 cups of apples.
What kind did you use?
Right here we just have Fuji's, but I like to use a mix most of the time, like some Granny Smith and just some different ones so you have a good different flavors all in. So 6 cups right here.
I love Fuji.
Oh, yes.
I use them too
They're
whenever
so
I have
good.
them.
We've got 3/4 of a cup of sugar. We're gonna sprinkle it on there. And then here is our spice. This is 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Sprinkle that on. 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And then this is a tablespoon of cornstarch. That'll help with your thickening.
Right.
And then this is just a tablespoon of lemon juice. And then it's optional. You don't have to do lemon juice if you don't like lemony flavor, but I do.
I love lemon.
And I'm the cook, so that's what we're having.
Yes, I love lemon.
And then this, you just give it a good stir, you give it a toss, and then you let it sit. So while you prepare your pie crust, it's gonna start making its own juices. We're gonna set it aside.
Okay.
And we're gonna do our pie crust. I prepared some last night, and I always like to have more pie crust than necessary. It's easier to trim than to have to patch.
Roll the pie crust dough until it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. Then grab a 10-inch Dutch oven.
Now this is the parchment paper. We're gonna layer it in the bottom, and this is what these are our handles to pull it out.
How neat is that? Who gave you this tip, or did you just figure this out?
I read it in a Dutch oven book. You kind of like roll it in, and we're gonna try and even her out a little bit. Oh, beautiful. Okay.
Kind of want it to go up on the side?
We want it to go up on the sides because we have to make the edges of our pie crust. Kind of even it out a little bit, and then we're gonna make it pretty in a minute. But we're just gonna give it a good stir so everything's coated again.
Okay.
And then just dump it. Got some good sugar in there. Don't want to lose it.
No, we
Okay.
don't.
So there's that. We're going to just arrange your pie, your apples, so they will lay flat.
Next, we've rolled out the dough for the top of the pie.
We want to make a circle piece for the inside. So to get it kind of a good idea of what we want, I use my lid and I kind of press it down on there and then pull it off. So we're going to cut just inside of that circle because it needs to fit down inside of this crust.
First, we cut a 1/2 inch inside the lid ring, place it on top of the apples, trim the excess dough, then finally pinch together the top and bottom.
So when you make a
delicious.
pie that's got a closed top, you have to make the slits in
Right.
the top for the steam to get out.
Gotta
But
have an
since we're at the
escape.
rock and R, we'll just put an R in the top. So there's our R. And we
Oh.
gotta make it rockin'.
Oh, how cute.
So there's our rockin' R, and then we'll do some little shiny things up here just to make it cute. And then we are gonna bake it at 400 degrees for 15 minutes, and that's gonna set our pie crust so we don't have soggy crust. And then we're gonna take the heat down to 350, and we're gonna cook it for 45 more minutes. So we're gonna go stick this on the coals.
Okay. We prepared the briquettes in a separate area away from the fire to help regulate the temperature. According to Crystal's Dutch oven cooking chart, for a 14-inch Dutch oven to reach 400 degrees, we need to have 8 charcoals on the bottom and 17 on top.
And when you do your bottom ones, you're gonna wanna do them in a circle, but just a little bit smaller circle than your oven. And we're just gonna bring it over and we're gonna set it on top. And then we're hurrying to get our 17 on top, and then we're gonna start our timer. Looks like we need one more.
Okay, for 17.
For 17. And when you do the top of an oven, they say to try to do a checkerboard pattern, but I just try and keep mine spaced pretty even. And as we bake, we're gonna rotate so we don't get hot spots. So,
Okay, what do you mean? Rotate
okay,
what?
we're gonna turn our lid
Okay.
clockwise, like half a turn clockwise, and then we're gonna pick up the bottom and pick up our whole one and turn it counterclockwise another half a turn. So you're always rotating heat
Wow.
and never getting hot spots.
So we
It
can't
looks
just
nice.
leave this.
You can't just walk away from it at this point. When you're baking, you have to babysit it a little bit.
While I set my timer for 15 minutes, Crystal lays down the briquettes for the rolls.
We're gonna check these in 20 minutes.
Okay, but this one we don't need to turn down at all.
No, we don't turn this one down, but we are gonna need to rotate it so we
Okay.
don't get hot spots.
After the pie's been cooking for 15 minutes, we'll lower the temperature to 350 degrees. We'll do this by removing 1 charcoal from the bottom and 3 from the top.
We're gonna rotate it, and so we rotated that way, so we're gonna pick our oven up and go the other way. And rotate. And that way, you know, any hot spots are gonna get evened out. While we're over here, let's get these potatoes on their way.
Okay. Before we add the potatoes to the oven, we fried up 2 pounds of bacon, then scooped out the excess grease. We then add 2 sliced onions. How many do you think?
You know, they say you like 1 potato per person, but we're just gonna fill this oven up. We're gonna do like half right now, and then we're
Okay.
gonna salt and pepper it good.
We add about 1 tablespoon each of coarse salt and ground black pepper, and then we fill up the oven with the rest of the potatoes.
So we're just gonna load these on, and we're gonna let them go for a minute. And we're gonna get these baked beans started. We've already browned the bacon in the bottom up here and drained the grease off.
Couple of pounds.
Yeah, a couple pounds of
Okay.
bacon, because you can't have too many.
No.
And we're gonna dump all of these in.
To make our baked beans extra delicious, we are adding 4 tablespoons Worcestershire, 4 tablespoons mustard, 2 cups ketchup, 2 cups brown sugar, and chopped onions to taste.
We're gonna stir it up good, and then we're gonna just put it on the heat and let it warm.
simmer.
And we're just gonna set this down on the coals right here. And we will check it in a second.
All right.
So let's take a look really fast at these and make sure they're not burning.
Oh,
And then we'll brush them with a little butter.
While Crystal adds a little butter to the top of the rolls, I stir the beans and check on the potatoes. Everything is looking so yummy.
See what that pork's doing? Is it warm? It's looking good.
Looking so good.
Give it a stir and see if it's getting tender in there. It's falling apart. You can just see it falling apart in there.
It's just falling apart.
It'll be good.
Oh my gosh. That is gonna be good.
I chose the recipes we made today because that is, to me, classic country food. It's good, it's wholesome, and that's what my family makes.
Do you usually ring the dinner bell?
Do you want to tonight?
Kinda.
Okay, I'll let you.
Okay. When, right now?
Right now.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you. Okay. Come and get it.
All right, it's about time. I'm hungry.
Dinner time is important to me because I want my kids to have the same opportunities that I did, and to feel like they are loved and that there is home and somewhere to go where they are safe and they can be with their family.
No, if you're on the ranch, you have to eat more than that.
You do?
Yes.
How much
It is a
more?
rule.
Let me dish your plate.
You
for
double
me.
that.
No,
I
no,
will do that.
You gotta
Let
eat
you
big
eat
because you
100.
work
Oh,
big.
no.
Food is, for me, it's the toughest part of running the ranch because it is such a important part of it. We do a family style buffet, and so people come through, you sit down, you eat together, you get to know people. We have people from all over the world that come and stay with us, so it's very crucial and important.
Crystal, it's the best Dutch oven I've ever had.
Well, thank you.
I mean it. It's so delicious. I know that in the tradition of the cowboy, it's really the food, isn't it, that binds you together at the end of the day?
Yep. Absolutely.
I think that's the best part about working here is at the end of the day getting together with all your coworkers and, you know, they're friends at the end of the day, and so it's really fun to sit with them and talk about what you did and trade stories and funny experiences that happened.
Did any of you experience that growing up?
Yeah, like my siblings and I, we're always pretty busy with sports and school and stuff. But every night at 6 o'clock, we were expected to be home to have family dinner. My mom always had this rule that we had to be home every night by 6. And sometimes it was hard. We were running through the door sometimes. But every single night of the week, except for Wednesday, my mom would cook us a homemade meal, and she expected us to be there. I really miss it, actually.
My parents loved me enough to want me home with them and to eat dinner with my family, with my brothers and sisters. And I miss that. I miss that when I'm not home, is to be with my family.
Everybody eating good food, sitting together around the table, and good conversation. What is better than that at the end of the day?
The story about the true life, it really inspired me because I realized that I'm not doing that in my own life with my own family, especially in the winter time when we're slower. I don't take the time to sit down and have that together time, and so it really hit me that that's what I want to do for me and my family.
I think that there's a love of what people do, and I think that cooking or riding horses or farming or whatever, if you love to do something, that you'll take the time and have the patience to see the end result. And that's really the essence of a cowboy. A cowboy has honor and virtue, and he does what he does because he loves it.
Oh, looks good. Okay, we're gonna see if it's gonna work. If you'll grab these two.
All right.
So on the count of 3.
Okay.
Ready?
1,
2,
3.
and then go.
Oh!
Okay, and then we're gonna slide these out.
Oh! Perfect! Let's taste it.
I think she is very passionate about what she does. I think she has a true love for family and for food, and she realizes that those two things together, it's an incredible combination. It is very powerful, and you can accomplish a lot with that.
The Rock and R Ranch has such a rejuvenating atmosphere that it's sure to fill your soul. The true life is deeply rooted here, with families enjoying the simpler times with each other. Crystal's Dutch oven recipes are so inspiring that I can't wait to try them at my home. See you at dinner.